with the Boss.
You might have to get a different controller.
I think the newer, like the wiring and the mount's the same, but you have to get a different controller, which is still kind of a pain. You'll carry around 8 controllers and this for that, that for that. Kind of V-Plow is the most standard. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got a V-Plow. All right, how's it going today, guys? Today is February 3rd, and today we're gonna do a little review video, or kind of talk about these snow plows. We have a straight blade, a Western wideout, and a V. We're gonna go over them, kind of go through what we like, what we don't like about each plow. We'll probably unhook them, hook them back up, show you how that goes, and yeah, just talk about snow plows. So if you're out in the market or looking to buy one, kind of know, maybe this will help find out which one's right for you, and which one isn't. So, all right, so here we have Jameson.
What's up, guys?
My right hand man. So first, let's start on the on straight blade. Steel cap straight blade. I would say one thing, it's about as good as residential setup as you can get, other than with the back drag plow. But what do you think about the straight blade plow?
Yeah, I think it's good for residentials and commercials if you can just windrow it all. Good for back dragging.
What do you think of the this one here's a Boss. This is a Boss 8.6 Super Duty, and I think if I'm correct, the only difference between the Super Duty and the standard is this bar right here that runs up here, just a little extra strength support, which I think is good if you get heavy snow. 8.6 Super Duty. What do you think? What do you think about this hookup?
It's alright if you're on flat ground. It hooks up pretty easy.
Yeah.
Put down. And put your plow and float.
Yeah, maybe a little later we'll probably unhook it and hook it back up with the Western as well. Just kind of show you how that all works. But one thing that's kind of different about these lights on the Boss is there's a switch inside that you gotta have it. You can switch from the truck to the plow, which, I mean, in like a worst case scenario, if these lights ever went out, like if a wire or something got cut in the middle of the night or whatever, some fuse blown or whatever, and you could go to the truck, you won't be able to see as good. But if it could get you through, that would be one plus. So yeah, these the headlights, one of these bulbs went out. It was like the blinker bulb, and man, to get that bulb out was just a hassle. I took these out, and I still wasn't able to take this off, and still wasn't able to get the bulb out. So I had to come down to here, and it's tucked. It's really, you can see the wire goes up in here. It's so tight, you gotta like undo a clip and pull it out, and it was just a hassle. It was a half-hour ordeal, which wasn't ideal. But these ones, the Western, are super easy. Take out a screw there, 2 over there, this thing pops right out, bulb's right there, twist, bulb, and the little adapter it sits in is all right there. It's a 30-second ordeal, where this was half-hour. These, I'm not sure if you can adjust. I'm sure you probably can, undo these, like if you adjust the headlights. One of Stan's videos, a guy was commenting on one of his plow videos, oh yeah, the Western lights are horrible, you can't see anything. On this truck here, the front's lifted about 3 inches, so these lights are up in the airways. You can see amazing. Can you see as good as you can with the truck headlights?
Yeah, almost as good.
Yeah, you can see, it's amazing. And then with this is also a Western. This truck's a little bit lower. These lights, when we first got it, they were pointing just like, they were literally like right here. Like you can see about 3 feet in front of the plow. They were horrible. I mean, they were bright, you just couldn't, they weren't aimed right. So I think this guy was way to adjust these. So I come over here, look down here, there's those two bolts, nuts on them. Loosen that one. It takes, in less than a minute, I had these lights aimed perfect. You just loosen them a little bit. You can tip them either way, turn them, put them wherever you want them. So I pulled up on the road and I loosened them, got them aimed perfect. You can see as good as the truck headlights. So these aimed, the Western lights aimed right. You can see they're as good as your truck headlights. Not aimed right, they're horrible. So, all right, kind of got carried away on the headlights there. But what do you think about this? Is it's like a 2014. 13 or 14 Western wideout. What do you think about that plow?
I think it's the best plow out there.
Why is that?
Because you can have a straight blade like that. You can open it up for big areas. You can windrow. You can push like a pusher. I think it's a really good plow. Works good for residential and commercial.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's universal. So depending on what you're doing, if you're doing your own driveway and that's it, get a straight blade. It's simple, easy to use. If you're doing anything else, buy this. Wideout.
The good thing it's not for is to open up big lots if it's really drifty, or if you're out screwing off on the weekend on the lakes.
Yeah.
Trails.
So yeah, that's 9 feet. I mean, we'll show you guys later too, but 9 feet, or when this thing's fully scooped, right now it's 8 feet and the wings go out a foot either side, but when you're scooped, you're about 9.5 feet. So that's a lot of snow. It's like you can like cup it and push it, so you can
show them how it works.
Yeah, you can move some snow with this thing. I know a lot of people don't like the Western controller, or some do, some don't. But personally, I don't mind it. It's fairly easy, simple, easy to use. So just turn it on and go lift up, obviously. And then, so the top left, scoop some. It'll scoop both of the wings. And then there's a scoop and retract. So hit retract. Hit retract. And I'll bring them in. And so here, let me show them this.
You can do individually, just one at a time.
So yeah, there's up, down, left, right, and then top left is scooped, retract, and then this is each wing individual. So fairly easy. So like when you're scooped, it's a nice thing too is like when you're scooped and you're pushing a load, you can like turn or articulate around corners and stuff. And let me get a front shot of this. So right there you got about, like if you want a windrow, say you're windrowing that way, you can scoop this one out. So none will drip over, and then put that one out. So you right there, you're like 9.5 feet, windrow like crazy. Right there's your scoop. And as you can see, it's kind of like a pusher on a skid steer. You can get a lot of snow in front of that thing, like that, because it's, you know, you're actually like pushing. Where the V, you know, when you're like this, first of all, when you V it, it gets super small, and then we'll show that one too. Like when you V it, it just fills up right around, overflows. Where this thing, you're actually like pushing snow. Like you think of like a V, how fast that fills up. Well, look much more is going to go inside of here, and it goes way out in front. Yeah, V this too. I mean, V plow is the most standard. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got a V plow, but just because Tom, Dick, and Harry have one doesn't mean it's necessarily the best. That's what I've always thought. But there's definitely advantages and disadvantages to both. The wideout is good for back dragging as well, with the wings straight out, with them all the way in. And you know, it's super universal. Now where this, I think the V isn't as good for back dragging because you can see how far angled these blades are forward. So they cut really good going forward, but then back dragging it just like drags, seems like.
It like leaves across, a couple inches across.
Yeah, it's not ideal for back dragging. So why don't you jump in that thing and whip it around and put like this marker right on the other marker so you can see the difference when the V plow is in scoop position and the wide out. So you can see really the difference. And that there is a Western MVP. It's a 8.6. That's an 8.6. So I know most of the Boss V plows there, I think they only make like an 8.2 and a 9.2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so that is an 8.6. So that's 4 inches wider than most of your Boss V plows. Yeah, it's really nice out on the lake to V it, like when you're taking out your fish house on the weekend. It's super nice for that because if you get a lot of snow, you know, you can't hardly do it with the straight blade. You'll load up and just push you over. But yeah, it's, like I said, pros and cons. Everything's pulling this up here. Yeah, come a little more forward. Good. All right, so right there, these plows are both in scoop position. It's right at side to side right there. And you come over here, and right there's your difference. I mean, there's 2.5 feet right there difference in your scoop. And see with your V, like, yeah, you got a little bit of room in here where your snow's gonna build up, and since you have no sides, it builds up and just flows right over. Where this, when you're scooped, it seems like you can not only carry way more, but then more builds up in between. Because as soon as this snow fills up to here, it just starts trickling right over.
And
so
with the wide out, you can have a scoop of this and turn it for like.
Yeah, it's like you're going around corners and whatnot. Yeah. I said that a little bit ago. So that's the thing too with this is you can't articulate around corners or anything like that. And yeah, a lot of people say, oh, you know, V plows stack good. They do stack pretty well, but with this truck, I don't know if because this truck the front is lifted a couple inches.
This plow goes really high.
Because this thing stacks, would you say easily as high as a V plow?
I'd say higher probably.
Yeah, this thing it gets up there. One thing about this Western controller on this thing, Jay, show them how it like if you want a windrow, where like the Boss V is.
Back up so we don't.
Yeah, back up. Where like the Boss V is. It's been a little while since I ran one, but I ran one in the past. Like up, down, and then wing forward, wing back. So it's like 5 buttons. Where the nice thing about this Western is, okay, say you got your blade straight, you're windrowing. Once you're whatever position you're in, you can just hit right. No, hit scoop or like say we're windrowing. So move that wing individually, get it straight. Okay, say you're windrowing, so you push that way, then you get to the end, you got to turn. you hit the right button, the wings will stay in whatever configuration they are and turn. So you want to scoop
manually.
Yeah, instead of doing each wing manually, it'll stay in whatever position it's at. And then
Wide out.
yep. And then say you're even like partial scooped, hit right. It'll stay in the position that's in wherever it's at and turn. So that's super nice for windrowing and that kind of thing. So yeah, personally, I'm a Western fan. I think the hookup is ideal. And just like the V-Plow, they make it 8.6, which is nice, versus 8.2, because there's a noticeable difference when you're in big wide open lots, back and forth 100 times. It adds up quick.
I think I'd pick a V-Plow though over a straight blade.
Yeah, but what would you take over a V-Plow and a straight blade?
Wide out.
Yeah, well, there you had it. And these plows, we've been running them we plowed with them. I mean, the wide out we got this year, and this particular V-Plow we got this year. So we haven't really had time to put them up to the test of time, as Stan would say. But we so far we've plowed with them, 5-6 times, and it's been good. No mechanical problems with any of them really yet.
Other than the wings freezing up.
Other than that,
slushy, and then it gets cold. The wings tend to freeze up, but
that is one thing. It's only ever happened once. I've talked to a bunch of the guys that have them, and if you have super heavy snow, like the other day, it snowed a bunch and it rained. What happens is right in here, snow will get up on here and freeze, and then this won't, because this slides in right here. It'll freeze on there, and that won't allow it to move.
All you need to do is carry a little big blowtorch with you.
Yeah, go grab that. It's in the single cab toolbox. Grab that, show it to them. So they froze up. So I just went to Home Depot and got this 4-foot propane torch. Grabbed one of those, threw it on a propane cylinder, melted all the snow right off. It was good to go. And the thing is too, if it does freeze up, you're not like totally out of commission. Like your plow's not down. It's a little bit harder to plow. So this thing here.
Get this big sucker.
Yep, hook it up to, you can screw it into any propane tank, and then it shoots like this thing full of heat. So 2 minutes, melt it right off, back in business. So like I said, that's happened once. I talked to multiple other guys that run them, and they said it's not real common. But so yeah, that's kind of going over that a little bit. I think we'll unhook them and hook them back up and just kind of show you that process. Alright, so there's just 2 wire connections. One right there, put the little caps on. Since we're going to hook this right back up, I don't need to put them on, but...
Yeah, you can shove them up in here, there's a little holder.
There's a little holder right there, you can push them up in there to keep them out of the weather. And then all you do is pull, tuck it in there.
Pull this.
Pull one pin, push that down, push down until it clicks. And sometimes you can,
adjust
clicks in. And you can adjust those feet, by just pulling up that lever and then moving that foot. So it's super universal to each truck. Like, okay, now say this truck breaks down, we want to put this plow on the other truck.
A lot lower.
Which is a lot lower. No big deal. You pull out one lever and the feet are super adjustable. There's no bolts, nothing. So it's super versatile, like per truck, to each truck and what have you. So it's just straightforward. When he backs out, I'll show you like the cups on the trucks, like the receiver, big, easy to line up. He'll back right out, and then see when you're hooking up, you have those big squares there, just to line up right in there. You got like 4 or 5 inches there to line up. So I usually come straight back into it, and then you just go in, good to go. Push right back in. See how easy that is? It's like you've got that little point coming off the plow, and you got like a 5-inch area there to hit to go in. Pull that thing up.
It really takes a minute.
Click. A minute? That's on the long side. So you just pull that pin, latch that up. Same thing on the other side. Clicks in, good to go. Right there, your plow's already hooked up. And then hook up both the wires, and you are good to go. And like we said earlier in this one, you hook up the lights, and the power, and then it automatically the truck lights go to the plow lights, and you are ready to roll, ready to push some snow. So we'll back this out now. We'll pull the boss hook up here, and we will do the same thing there. Unhook that one, hook it back up, and show you what we like and don't like about that one. But overall, the Western hookup is, to me, there's no comparison. It's so much easier to, if it's 2 in the morning, dark, snowing, it's so easy to hook up by yourself. Where the boss, if you're in a heated shop floor, everything's level, everything's thawed out, that's fairly easy. But if it's outside, you're on an uneven surface at all, you're alone, you're by yourself, you got that little, like, it's like 2 inches you have to line up, and you got to line up a 1-inch hole with a 1-inch pin. It's just, personally, I'm not a fan of it. But like I said, we'll show you. We'll pull it up, unhook it, hook it back up, and I'll show you how that works.
Pull the pin, get it down to the whatever hole you can get it in. Then you click on off. Click both of these two off, both sides, and then you go up, pops them out, and back down. Got to make sure though your controller in the truck is on float. And then you
Let's unplug those 2 wires. On this truck, ever since it came, I bought this truck a couple years old and the plow was on it. There was never like a cover on this one to cover these in the summer, and when the plow's not hooked up. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen a cover for these, if you can buy them, just let me know on that. So he's gonna back out and then try to come back into it and hook it back up and show you how that goes. But like, I'll show you when he backs up. On this plow, like, you have such a small area to hit. Like you gotta match that right there, those 2 little bands there, like 2 openings from 90 degree off that horizontal bar, right up into this. It's like when you're by yourself, it's like, since he backs straight up and then backs straight in, you know, you might be able to get it, but like if it's just you in the middle of the night trying to do that, it can be hard to aim those and get them hooked up, which is kind of a hassle. I think this is great if you're it's easy if you're in a shop, even level floor, everything. But if it's outside, if it's on any bit of an angle, it can be a real pain. So just hold on. Yeah, looks like you got it. You're back straight out and straight in, so fairly easy.
You can see there's 2 and 1. So look at here to line them up.
Tuck them back in there.
Then you go over here.
Yeah, flip that on.
This side we would do that, but this is the spring's broken.
There's a little spring that we zoom in on that.
Let's go up.
Go up and then flip it, and then it's good to go. So yeah, there we hooked up, and hey, forget something.
We got the foot.
If you forget that foot, that'll get ripped off pretty quick. So just pull a pin, lift that back up, and you are hooked up again. So yeah, I mean, it's a little more of a hassle, but it is what it is, I guess. So I know a lot of guys that they hook them up in the fall and unhook them in the spring. So it's really not a big deal if you're doing it once a year. But like for us, we're pulling the fish house, you know, sometimes 5 hours north, so we don't want to bring the plow all the way that way or whatever. We take them off all the time, especially when it doesn't snow for 3 weeks. So it's a little bit bigger of a deal for us because we do it more often. But if you did it once a year, then it probably really wouldn't be a huge factor in deciding on which plow is right for you. But so that's, anyway, we went over quite a few things, and this is the boss where, yeah, there's a switch. I can show you that. There's a switch inside here, right here, that you gotta hit to go from plow, from the plow to the truck. Just a little toggle switch there. But anyway, yeah, this one does have shoes on it, which I know a lot of guys don't like those for commercial. I don't know. I do a little bit of both of this thing. I do most of the residentials with this, and some commercial seems to do fine.
Gravel, those feet are good for.
Yeah, good for. I do some long gravel driveways. They were good for that. Keeps from windrow and gravel off into the ditch and whatnot. So anything else you want to touch on?
No, that Western same hookup as the wide that we showed them that.
Yeah, the V plow. The V plow is the same as all the Western hookup is the same. That's another thing. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think from like around 03, 04, all the Westerns went to the Ultra mount hookup. So with this setup right here, with this mount and this wiring, I can hook up to any plow. Like all these plows are interchangeable. You put a V plow on this thing, you can put a straight blade, a wide out, any plow they got, you can just go hook up to this and you're good to go. So that's another really big plus with the Boss.
You might have to get a different controller.
I think the newer, like the wiring, the mount's the same, but you have to get a different controller, which is still kind of a pain. You'll carry around 8 controllers and this for that, that for that, kind of hassle. And they are expensive too. They're like, I think they're like $300-400. So that's nice. Another nice thing about Westerns. Another thing is, which anybody that knows anything about plows knows this, but with this chain, your motor goes out, whatever, and you need to bring it to the shop to get it fixed or drop it off somewhere or whatever, you just put the cylinder in float, bring this all the way down, push the plow up into pile, jack it up, lift up a skid, whatever, and just tighten these chains right up onto there, and your plow's up, and you can still get it around, get it to where we need to get it fixed.
We had to do that on this truck. Did the plow wiring go bad that one time or something?
Or the pump went out, yeah. On my first plow ever was a Western straight blade, and the pump went out on it on my first account, and I had like 40 more to do, and that's what I did. I just pushed into a pile, shortened the chains, lifted it up. That's another thing on this Boss. Okay, so say your pump or even a line blows or something goes out and you need to lift it up. How in the world are you gonna lift this thing up and transport it? I mean, there's not even like a hook here or anything and you wouldn't want to chain up to that bar or anything. So really, if this thing goes down, you may have to unhook it and bring a trailer and load it on a trailer. So it might be a major hassle, but that's another nice thing for a breakdown. Another thing I was saying too earlier is, like if your power or something goes out on this, and you want to, like say it sits all winter, and you go in the spring to hook it up, and like your power or something in a way or something, the truck doesn't work, then you're lifting up on this thing trying to get it hooked up, and like I think using power to hook it up isn't a great idea. Maybe that's old school or I don't know, but using power to hook it up I think is kind of just not the greatest idea ever. All right, so here's a little test we're gonna do. I don't know how good you can see this stuff, but we have a row here of snow and a row right here. We're going to, with the wide out, go right down the middle of the row. We're going to push right down the middle of the row and push all to the same spot over here, and then see like how much booger trails came off and how many swipes it takes to sweep them up, just to kind of see versus the V-plow and the wide out. Alright, so he's going to come right down the middle of this row in fully scoop position. That thing just loading up. That's a lot of snow. You have to get a little bite or floor it. I think this row actually had a little more than the other one. Yeah, that's good right there. So it looks like it's probably gonna take maybe one more scoop here, one more scoop there. There's not much there. See, like, that's a pretty big pile. Like, look at that right there. That's pretty good for a pickup truck. Looks like probably one more then right here. A little bit left there. Not a ton. Now he's gonna jump in the V-plow. This row, to be honest, I think has slightly less, but we'll see how much that they can push in one scoop in fully V'd position, going right down the middle of the row. See how much more snow is just rolling off the front of that thing? You see how much was just like rolling off to the sides? It seemed like more on that one versus the wide out. Like, look how much snow that is. That's a little bit, but not a ton. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be somewhat comparable. The main scrape and one to the side here. So as you can see, the piles are pushed about to the same, and there's what's left of that one. There's a pretty big trail there. Let's see if it's full. It's icy. This is just kind of like an open area, so it's not on pavement or anything, so it's slippery. As you can see, this the V's going on its fourth push, and everything still isn't as far as that first pile. Yeah, so I don't know how well you can see that, but it looked to me on that first push, which let me go over and talk to this guy. Looking on the first push, a lot more is just like flowing off to the side, which isn't what you want. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think there's a little bit less snow in this row?
There was, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and like when you're going down that first row, the snow is just flowing off to the sides. Where I'll have to relook at it on the wide out, but it's a little comparison for
And
you.
if you're pushing a long ways, this is a short ways.
Yeah, this is like what three truck lengths, and this is a real life scenario where you're gonna be pushing snow actually to the end of a lot.
Like a big parking lot.
The big parking lots. Yeah, this is only 3 truck lengths, so and all this snow still isn't as far as that wide out pile. But anyway, that's kind of a quick little video for you. Hope this helps you decide on if you're looking to buy a snowplow or what. If you're helping decide on which plow is right for you. This is like the most three common plows around here anyway. The straight blade, the wide out V.
What else do they make? C plows?
Yeah, C plows. I know they have some where the wings are fixed on the sides. They can go straight out or straight forward.
Boss does make for the V plows wings.
They do make wings, yeah, like wings, like what are they, foot wide that stick out on either side. I see some of those, like a 9.2s. It's a huge plow. You gotta have that's easy on the front end of the truck. That's pretty hard on it. But here's one little incident we had last time. We were plowing. A guy was backed into like 4 mailboxes and scrape. Look at this. It went right on top of this fender flare, and I'm surprised he didn't knock it off. Right along there, right back on the paint. It's right through the paint. So I got a quote. It's gonna be like $600 to repaint the side of the truck. So I was thinking I'll probably wait till spring because get it all fixed up, and then something probably happen again. So something that comes along with a lot of plowing, it's bound to happen. Any plow vehicles, if you use it any amount, it's gonna get dinged up. Some people happens to more than others. Some people not as often. Anything else you want to say about snow plows? You like plowing snow?
Love plowing snow.
What do you like about it?
Love being up all night. No one else around. Plowing.
Yeah, it's pretty fun anyway for now. But I'm sure I'll think of something else we like or don't like about these plows. But that's a good portion of it anyway. So
It'd be fun to try out a back drag plow.
it will. That's next year. Next year's to-do list to get a back drag plow. Later this year, this fall, yeah. The boss ones are like 6,000 new. The short iron and the snow power, they're a little more spendy, but I'm thinking I'll probably just save up and go buy a snow power one, get the good ones, get a good one, get what you pay for when you buy a new 100%. So yeah, we will have a video on that, I'm sure, in the fall. Hopefully get some plowing with that next year. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you in the next one.